Hang on, guys. I know what I didn't do. I got in a hurry. I'll have a picture here in a minute. I hope. There we go. Sorry about that. Hey, Julie. I forgot to plug the camera in. So we got something interesting to talk about. Got something interesting to talk about today. Do we have a serial unaliver? Yeah, I figured I'd put the feathers up for this one. Spill the tea. Spill the tea. We've got coinkydink, so to speak. And this is about not one, but two cases that happened within about a 2-hour distance between each other. Let me get my notes because everything is on my notes. Oh, we had two watchers and they left. Imagine that. Well, this is about, it started out being about Dylan Rounds. This started to be about Dylan Rounds. And it ended up with another case that happened about a month prior to Dylan going missing. And about 2 hours driving distance away from where Dylan went missing. Wow. Yeah. So we're going to start with Dylan first. Now, I realize that it takes more than two people to be considered a serial, I can't even talk, a serial unaliver. And I've only told you about two. But there's a third person that I have talked about in the past, and I'll bring his name into it later on as to how this could be. Yes, and that's Mr. Hart working on something in the background. All right. It was brought to my attention about Dylan Rounds. He is from Idaho, but he was working in Utah on his grandfather's farm that he, I believe, was buying the farm, was going to buy the farm. Dylan's 19 years old. And he was last seen on May 27th by a credible witness at a restaurant in Montello, Nevada, which is just across the border from the farm. It's about maybe a 20 or 30 minute drive from the farm to this restaurant. Let's see. Where do I begin? So we know we've got a 19-year-old named Dylan that's missing. I'm just going to read the notes that I have written down as I wrote them down. And thank you to my researcher. They know who they are. A big shout out to my researcher for helping me with this. Dylan's truck was pressure washed. It was very clean, including the tires. Although it had rained, there was no mud on that truck. And there was no tire tracks. This was according to his mother. The truck possibly had some blood on it or in it and was washed away. They washed away some of the evidence when they pressure washed it, whoever pressure washed it. I know in watching a video, the mother indicated that Dylan was very specific on his clothing. He wore the same pair of boots no matter what until they would get holes in them. Then he'd go buy another pair of boots that's identical to the ones he wore out. His only pair of boots is the only thing they found. 100 yards away behind a dirt hill. The detectives indicated there was a spot of blood on one of the boots. They were going to take it to the lab and then change their story and said they were going to give it to they were going to give them the search and rescue to use for scent. The truck itself, the seat was pushed up. The seat was pushed up. So it had to be a short person that drove it because Dylan is 5'11". The truck was in four-wheel drive, in low range four-wheel drive. However, the transfer case did not work. Two men worked with him that he had working with him on this farm. Hey, Vexing Vixen. There was two men that worked with him on the farm. They are in constant contact with his parents since he's disappeared. Law enforcement has not done much of anything. His phone pinged at 3:41 on Saturday off of a tower. The radius of that tower is 15.4-mile radius. The farm is within that radius. Keep in mind, that truck was pressure washed. There was no mud on it at all whatsoever. And it had rained. He also had a seed truck. It was 5 miles from where he was camping. And the boots were 100 yards away from the seed truck. Hi, Spring. I haven't gotten that far yet. So Dylan lived in a camper most of the year. During the winter, he would do other jobs and visit family. There was a person of interest named, and that person's name was Chance, a man that had asked Dylan for a ride. Dylan had called his mom on Wednesday, May 25th, and indicated the man had walked out of the desert, out of nowhere. Looked like he had been out there for days and was bloody. That man has since been arrested on unrelated charges, I'm assuming. The last call that Dylan made was to his grandmother. He loved the farm, and he was told that he couldn't farm the land, but he did it anyway. Dylan did not have a girlfriend, and in checking him out, his last Google searches he did was on tractor parts or truck parts. I think they thought I think they thought it was not farmable. Julie, is what I'm taking from that, is they thought that it was not farmable. He was only 19 and he was wanting to do it on his own. Now, apparently they did eventually send the boots to the lab on June the 6th. Dylan's mom got a tip he was being held in a home in Montella, Nevada. Nevada's response was they would send out the Bureau of Land Management. Nothing from Elko County Sheriff since then. And I'm assuming that Elko County is the county in Nevada. All weapons that Dylan had are accounted for, with the exception of one. Him and his grandfather own over 600 acres of land, and Dylan was there for 3 years farming on his own. He did not have any mental problems. He was not dating, and there was no known enemies. Spring, I'm going to add that on as information I need to research about the business partner. Like I said, he was last seen eating at a Montello restaurant by a credible witness. I don't know Vexing Vixen because, as you're going to see, I'm tying in There's going to be there's another missing person that you're going to see there's similarities in the case. The law enforcement did search the grain truck thoroughly. They did search it thoroughly. His phone last pinged on Saturday, 5:28 at 4 p.m., about around 4 p.m., and it was within a 15-mile radius. The farm is in that radius. I don't know, Julie. The family does have a private investigator working on this. They are aware there are squatters and, how do I want to put this? People with substance abuse problems in the area. Now, the restaurant he was at, he did have acquaintances there, but none of those acquaintances had ever been to the farm. On Wednesday, he did call family after a weird run-in with a guy on a gravel road. This guy stopped him and asked him to use his phone and then asked for a ride. Dylan didn't feel safe, so he left the guy. He didn't give him a ride. I do know that they have had a helicopter out there searching. A wide area around the last location where his boots were found. They were looking for either a body or a disturbance in the dirt because it is a desert. And a disturbance in the ground they would be able to easily see. Now, if that's not bad enough, let's take a step back to April 27th. When another 19-year-old went missing by the name of Aidan Clune. He's from California, was visiting Utah. And here's where the eerie similarities are. He too did not have shoes on. He too did not have his shoes on. However, in his case, they were able to follow his footprints where he was running. At some point, he was crawling under bushes. They were able to tell that. They tracked Aidan. Law enforcement tracked Aidan for 21 miles. And then they lost his track. Also, both these young men drove red pickup trucks. So Aidan had stopped alongside the road. The truck was locked. So law enforcement could not get in the truck because they didn't have a key to find out why he was pulled off to the side of the road and had ran 21 miles. His truck was found parked on US 93 in eastern Nevada. At 6:23 a.m. on April 27th, he was last seen on video leaving a hotel in Wells, Nevada. According to sheriffs, Wells is a crossing point between Interstate 80 and US 93. Now, hey Joshua, I want you guys to keep this interstate in the back of your head because it's going to come up one more time. Interstate 80. No, actually, it's going to come up twice. Interstate 80. Wells is at a crossing point between Interstate 80 and US 93. Two major highways. That Wednesday morning, Aiden drove along US 93. Shortly after 8 a.m., he stopped near a place named Curry. It's considered a ghost town because the population is 20. At the time that he stopped, the temperature in that town was approximately 44 degrees. It's unclear why he pulled over onto the shoulder of the road. They don't know why he pulled over, if he ran out of gas or if he just broke down. They don't know because they don't have the keys to the vehicle to be able to get in and determine that. And it was at 8:50 a.m. that Nevada Highway Patrol found his truck. Like I was saying before, his tracks show that he ran away and crawled through bushes. The only thing he took was his phone from the vehicle. He left behind his wallet, a pocket knife, and some other belongings. And the only reason they know that is they could see those items, by looking through the window. And that was law enforcement looking through the window. His phone last pinged at 8:07 p.m. And it showed a ping. The ping showed his phone as being southwest of his abandoned vehicle. His last Google search was for spark plug replacement. Now, I said, remember, Interstate 80. Dylan was close to Interstate 80. Aiden was close to Interstate 80. And one of my other people, this is a long shot. I understand this is a long shot. But one of my other missing people that I've talked about previously was close to Interstate 80 when he went missing. And that's Chris Lumen. The only thing that's different is that they didn't find anything of his when he went missing. So, do we have a transient that is a serial unaliver? Or is this all just a coincidence? Because now we've had Chris Lumen. He's been missing since 2019, November of 2019, from along the Interstate 80. And now we have Dylan Rounds, who is doing his best to farm land. And now we have this third person, Aidan Clune, who went missing a month before Dylan Rounds. Dylan and Aidan both drove red trucks. Dylan and Aidan shoes were found in both cases. So do I think it's a matter of anything to do with the property that Dylan was farming? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, you got it spelled right, Aiden. Aiden, last name is Clune, Clune. So the question is, do we have somebody? I don't know that Chris Lumen's case is linked into this, but the fact remains that Chris Lumen went missing and he was close to Interstate 80 when he went missing. And if you think about it, I don't think Chance Engelbert was that far from Interstate 80 either. So, do we have a serial transient unaliver? I would, Julie, if I had to make a guess on that, I'd say too big. And the reason I say that is because Dylan's truck seat was pulled forward, and Dylan is 5'11". So I would think at 5'11", his boots may have been too big. Oh no, Joshua. That's true, Julie, but think about that for a minute. If a person put them on and they were way too big, they were swimming in them. Let's say that this person whoever this person is, caught Dylan at the grain truck and did something and took his boots. And his boots were just way too big. The boots were found 100 yards away. If the person was really disturbed and the boots didn't fit properly, I know if I put something on my feet and they're too big, I'm not going to wear them. I won't. Because it's going to cause your feet to get sore too. No, not to mention flopping around on your feet. And that would get annoying if you're on foot. Like I said, when it comes to Chris Lumen and Chance Engelbert, the only coincidence those two have in relation to these two new ones are the fact that they were close to Interstate 80. It's a good possibility, Jolie. It's a very good possibility. That is a very good possibility. Because we know that people that are serial unalivers, some keep trophies. They have their own patterns. They do their own things. Like a ritual to them. And maybe leaving the shoes behind was some sort of ritual to them. Right, that's what my researcher did. Came across the shoes being left behind. That's how my researcher came across Aidan Clune. It is a scary thought, Spring, because you don't know where, if this is somebody that's a transient, you don't know where they're at. They could be anywhere. Yes, Interstate 80 is a huge highway. It is a very huge highway, to say the least. Hey, love of Scorpio. That's what I thought. I thought it went from coast to coast. I was thinking that it did. Okay, so Chris Lumen's case, he was in Nebraska. And these two are on the Utah-Nevada border. So that's pretty far away. But if you're on foot, it would make sense. Because Chris went missing in November of 2019. Chance, we're coming up on his anniversary of being missing on July 6th of 2019. And Chance was fairly close to Interstate 80 as well. I'm looking to see if I missed anything out of my notes. Yes, Interstate 80 goes through Nebraska. And Wyoming. Trying to see if I left anything out. Like I said, now, when it comes to Dylan, they did indicate that his truck seat was pushed forward, meaning that somebody short was driving it when it was last driven. And it could not have been Dylan because Dylan was 5'11". Yeah, I know, love the Scorpio. And whoever drove it had put the four-wheel drive into 4 low, and the transfer case wasn't working. It was actually broke, so they wasn't really accomplishing anything. I'm sure I'll be coming back with an update with more information, but I wanted to get this out here because, I don't believe in coincidences. That's a good possibility. I don't know, but they didn't indicate that. The truck was, when they found it, when they got to the truck had been pressure washed. And the ground around the truck was not disturbed. There wasn't a footprint around the truck. Now, whether there was water access at that location or not, in order to use a pressure washer, I don't know. This, I feel like, yeah, I'm getting that feeling of both of them being chased, especially Aiden Clune. Aiden Clune more so than Dylan, because they didn't see footprints with Dylan's case. They did with Aiden Clune. And they were able to determine that Aiden was running at some point, and then he was crawling. They determined he was crawling under bushes. So it sounds like he was trying to get away from somebody. Yeah, Aiden was definitely trying to get away. As far as Dylan, we don't know. Because I don't think they found any footprints with Dylan. No, not that I'm aware of, Julie. There was no blood anywhere that I'm aware of. If there was, it wasn't among the information. Hey, September and Sun, welcome. Well, that's a good question. Let me look at the times, the last time their phone pinged. So the phone ping on Dylan it looks like the last phone ping on Dylan. I'm looking. Was on at 4 p.m. And the last phone ping on Aiden was at 8:07 p.m. So one was at 4 something, the other one is at 8 something. Four p.m. and 8 p.m. Sorry about the air conditioner. Let's see how hot we are today. We're at 86. I'll put their names in the title after I get off here. But I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention and get their names out there. Because we have not just one, but we have two missing a month apart. No, none of them have been found. This is reminiscent, once again, of the Chance Engelbert case and the Chris Lumen case. Chance went missing in July. Chris went missing in November. Never to be seen again. The only difference between Chance and Chris compared to Dylan and Aiden is that with Dylan and Aiden, their boots were found. I know Aiden's wallet and a few other items was in his vehicle, in his truck. Whereas when it comes to Chance and Chris, absolutely nothing was found. Nothing whatsoever. Yes, and they are all young men. I don't remember how old Chris was. Chance was 25 when he went missing. And now we have two 19-year-olds. Both of them are 19, missing. To me, Aiden sounds like his might have been just an opportunity. I don't know. We don't know why he stopped. Number one, we don't know why he stopped. Did he run out of gas? Did his vehicle shut off because he needed spark plugs? Because that's the last thing he Googled was spark plugs. Did he pull over because somebody wanted a ride? Remember, in Dylan's case, that strange person on the gravel road coming up to him, first wanting to use his phone and then wanting a ride. But he refused. But did Aiden run into the same situation? Or was there something wrong with his vehicle? We don't know. At this point, we don't know. Oh, I know, Joshua. Oh, how well do I know? But I'm just letting you know what the last thing was that he was researching on the internet. Dylan was researching farm equipment parts and truck parts. Aiden was searching for spark plugs. I mean, I don't think that Aiden had a girlfriend that I'm aware of. If he did, it was not brought to my attention. His mother did indicate and his mother did indicate that he did have some minor. Oh, yeah. The Daniel Robinson case, yes. I wonder how. I'm going to have to find out how close he was to Interstate 80. You're absolutely right, Dolly. Thank you for that and welcome. Hey, Dolly Mixtures. You're absolutely right. Daniel Robinson. Let me write that down. And you're absolutely right, because in Daniel Robinson's case, they found all of his clothes. They found his vehicle, which was overturned. 1 second, guys. So we're going to have to, we'll take a look at Daniel Robinson. I'll see how close he was to Interstate 80. Because his vehicle was found. It was rolled over in a ravine, or kind of like a ravine. And all of his clothing was found. Every last bit of it is my understanding. So it does kind of sound similar. I'm just not sure how close to I-80 the Daniel Robinson case was. So now we have 5 possibilities, depending on the location of Daniel Robinson. So do we have a serial unaliver out there? Just asking. This might just all be just one big fat coincidence. That's the bad thing. We don't know. So I will be checking out to see. I don't believe in coincidences either, Julie. I don't either. Love of Scorpio is that close to I-80 or US 93? Do you know? Because I don't know. I don't have a map in front of me. Okay. He could have, Julie. And remember, his phone, Chance's cell phone pinged close to a truck stop. Chance's phone pinged close to a truck stop. So, you know, did he get in a truck with somebody thinking he was getting a ride? And that brings me back to the fact that also brings me back to, is it a truck driver? And yes, I do have a truck driver in mind. Who is actually involved. The truck driver I have in mind is involved in a missing child's case. Now this is all, I mean, the only thing we don't know is the who. And we're putting speculation on the who. Whether it's a transient or a truck driver. Or a transient truck driver. It just happens to have his CDL license. That's just, yeah, we don't know why either. Although I could take a guess at that too. I have my theories on that as well. But I don't need the intellectually challenged people out there to say I'm a conspiracy theorist. So I won't put it out. Yeah, that's a good question. They're not searching for Dylan. Daniel Robinson's dad is out there searching for him, the last I heard. I don't know if he still is or not, but the last I heard, Daniel Robinson's dad was still out there searching. I could tell you why, but like I said, the intellectually challenged out there would say it's a conspiracy. I'm into conspiracy theories. So rather than giving them anything to talk about, I'll keep my thoughts on that off the internet, off the YouTube. I don't know. That's a good question. Why are they dropping the search? Why aren't they calling in for help? I know Dylan's family um, did call for help. I actually watched a video yesterday, and I can't remember what video it was or where I seen it. There was a video of a helicopter that went in. They took a helicopter in because that farm is pretty much flat because it is kind of in the desert. And so if he was just, his body was just laying there, or if it had just been um, placed in a shallow hole in the ground, the helicopter, the people in the helicopter would have noticed. And they searched quite a bit. Hey, Renee. So we need to dig into, in Dylan's case, the grandfather's, what was it? I think it was the grandfather's, I wrote it down. Air conditioner's blowing my pages everywhere. The grandfather's business part. So we need to look into the grandfather's business part. Uh, I would think that, well, first off, Aiden traveled 21 miles on foot, barefoot, no less. Yeah, it makes no sense why they stopped any searches. I mean, seriously. And from what I gather, there's no footprints when it comes to Dylan. So would I love a Scorpio. And I think Dylan's family put up, I think it's a $2,500 reward They do not have a GoFundMe page, but I believe Aiden's family does have a GoFundMe. I'm not sure on that. I believe that's what I read. I'm not sure, Spring, if the grandfather had just turned a farm over to Dylan or not. Dylan's last name is Rounds, Rounds. Dylan Rounds, he does not have a GoFundMe. His family does not. Oh, thank you, Renee. So the reward for Dylan is 20,000. All right, thank you for correcting me on that. And we'll keep researching this. Um, and we get more information, we'll do an update on it. But I wanted to get this out there because Dylan just went missing recently, and Aiden was a month prior. Both the age of 19, both drove red vehicles, and both without shoes. Yeah, it very well could be Dolly Mixtures. It very well could be. Exactly, Renee. Both drove red trucks and both were without shoes or boots. Now, we have a common denominator when it comes to Chris Lupin, and that's the I-80, Interstate 80, because Chris went missing, and he was close to Interstate 80 when he went missing. I'm not positive how far away from Interstate 80 Chance was when he went missing, but he was close to a truck stop. He could have gotten a ride with somebody in a truck. So the only common denominator I have when it comes to the four people, we have Chance and Chris, who were both come up missing in 2019, a few months apart. However, the only common denominator is the state they were in and the possibility of the closeness to Interstate 80. Beyond that, none of their articles of clothing were found. No cell phones, no wallets. If they found anything of Chris's, it was because he left it behind. But like the clothing that he had, none of the clothing he had on was found. Nothing. And as far as Chance, nothing was found. There was nothing found other than the cell phone ping near the truck stop. But as far as articles of clothing, wallets, keys, cell phones, nothing. In this case, of these two 19-year-olds that went missing a month apart, now was Aiden a crime of opportunity? Because he was traveling. I don't know if he was coming or going. He's from California, but was visiting Utah. So, was Aiden a crime of opportunity? Because we don't know if he was broke down on the side of the road. We don't know if he ran out of gas. Which names do you need, love of Scorpio? We have okay, he was on his way home. So Aiden was on his way home. Chance's last name is Engelbert. Chance Engelbert. And Chris's last name is Lupin. Loupin. I have videos. If you go under my playlist, I have videos on both people. And I have done a live or two on Chance and Chris, I believe. Chance was 25 when he went missing. Okay. I'm not sure on Chris how old he was when he went missing. He wasn't that old, though, I don't think. So, do we have. What's the odds that we have a serial unaliver out there? The odds are probably pretty good. That's it. I don't know that there's any footprints when it comes. Oh yeah, Aiden was running. From the information I got, I believe they said he was running, and when he wasn't running, he was crawling under bushes. So was he hiding from something? That's what I thought, Renee. I knew he wasn't too much older than Chance. Aiden, I feel, was running from somebody. But here's the thing. If he was running from somebody, why would he take the time out to lock his truck? Yeah, I'm not buying that, love of Scorpio. I'm really not buying it. Why would he abandon his vehicle and go barefoot 21 miles through the desert? Yeah, that's possible, Julie. If it had one, yeah, that's a possibility. I think he drove a 2007. I don't remember the make. 2007, and it was red. I do know that because his truck's red and Dylan's truck is red. Hey, Alyssa. Welcome. How's everything going, Alyssa? Everything going okay? Why do they have to blame mental issues for everything? I'm not saying that's not a possibility, but if his mother, if Aiden's mother was comfortable enough to allow him to drive from California to Utah, I don't think that his mental issues were that bad. That's what I was saying, Renee. Was it he ran out of gas? The truck broke down? Or, just like Dylan, did somebody flag him down and he pulled over? Hi, Alicia. Mazako. Dolly, I do know they used helicopters to help try to search for Dylan. Now, as far as somebody using drones or a helicopter to hunt down prey, human prey, I don't know. There was a helicopter, it was a search helicopter that came in to help try to search for Dylan on his property. Remember, that's 600 acres. So, being in as that farm is in the desert, it's not like other terrain. It's flat, and if the ground had been disturbed, the people in the helicopter would have been able to notice it. Or, just simply laying on top of the ground, for that matter. And the helicopter that was searching for Dylan was unable to find anything. They didn't find any evidence, unfortunately. Hey, Pamela. Welcome. Did they use helicopter? Well, there was a specific helicopter SAR that came out for Dylan. And I can't remember if it was. Let me get back to my notes. So it must have been in this video that I was told to watch. So the family had a search and rescue helicopter searching for Dylan. I have not heard that, but Dolly Mixtures, nothing surprises me. Yes, very much so, love of Scorpio. A lot of same circumstances. Down to the same color of the truck and neither one having their shoes on. So yeah, it's there's definitely something. They're missing a month apart. Aiden went missing in April, and I find it odd that we didn't hear about this. We didn't hear about this. Dylan's went missing, and just by chance, just by pure chance, another YouTube channel had picked it up. And they're the ones, I believe, that showed the helicopter flying around the property. Let me see. I don't remember if I saved that link or not. I think I subscribed to it. Let me see. Gotta remember the name of it. There it is. All right. Oh crap. Now I gotta come back to my channel. Here I come. All right, I'm going to give you the link. There's the direct link to the video that I watched. The channel name, now that I've put the link out there, is Heavy D Sparks. Yeah, a month apart. Exactly. It is exactly a month apart. Which is also odd. Yeah. You're right, Dolly. They were a month. Well, it was a little bit more than a month, but you're right. Summer went missing in June, and Michael Vaughn went missing in July. Yeah, that's the actual video. Rather than linking his channel, if you that way you can just watch the video that I watched, and if you like him you can subscribe. If not, you don't have to worry about it. It's not like he's hurting for subscribers. He's got 2 million. And I don't know what else he has on his channel besides that. But that link was sent to me. For some reason, the person felt it necessary to send me that link. And that person will remain nameless. Other than it was a family member. Yeah, it's very interesting to watch the search and rescue helicopter go out and fly around the property. Unfortunately, they did not find anything. So, and we're back at square one with these two guys, just like we are with Chance and Chris. Chance Engelbert and Chris Lupin. We're back at the same point. Local law enforcement not doing anything. As a matter of fact, I do believe that Dylan's mother, I think it was Dylan's mother. Let me look at my notes. So I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. Oh, I thought I wrote it down. I do believe that Dylan's mother is receiving tips, or did receive a tip about oh no, wait a minute. It wasn't Dylan's mother. Oh, wait a minute. One of the mothers, I believe one of the mothers, no, I want to say it's Dylan's mother, received a tip that he was in a house in Nevada. In that, let me find that city. It's a weird name. Where's that? Okay, it was Montello, Nevada. I do believe that the mother of Dylan has been receiving tips that Dylan was in a house. However, law enforcement would not search. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Love of Scorpio. Yeah, it is happening all over the world, Pamela. It is. Well, Dolly mixtures, I could tell you, but like I said, I don't need anybody calling me a conspiracy theorist. So we will keep researching and seeing what we can find on um, Dylan and Aiden. I just don't want this to turn into another Chance Engelbert or another Chris Lupin case. We're coming up on 3 years for Chance in July. Coming up on 3 years. Vanished without a trace. Chris Lupin. November will be 3 years. Vanished without a trace. Yes, Dolly Mixture, you are exactly right. And the problem with that is too many people don't open their mind to what's really going on in this country. They keep their mind closed and they call people like us conspiracy theorists, when in fact, they're the ones that are intellectually challenged because they are keeping a closed mind. Um, Alicia Mazzolka, where did she go missing from? I think we are too, Dolly. I think we are too. But I just won't say it on YouTube because there's too many um, intellectually deficient people that would call us conspiracy theorists because they're closed minded. Yes, you will not be called crazy here, love of Scorpio, believe me, because there's things I'd like to say, but there are some people out there that have problems that are closed minded. They're very closed minded and don't want to believe in these things. Who do we have to thank for that? Our government. In fact, our CIA. Because the CIA is the ones that came up with the term conspiracy theory. When did they come up with that term? Back when JFK was unalived in Dallas. It was at that point that our very own CIA, and it's a well known fact, you can research it for those of you that are closed minded. For the closed minded people, do some research on the term conspiracy theory and where it came from. It was started by the CIA because people didn't believe Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. That's where it came from. You want to follow Big Brother, go for it. Keep your mind closed to it. But when those of us that have an open mind want to speak freely, don't bash us for it either. Exactly, Dolly. They choose not to see what's out there. They choose to keep those blinders on. Exactly, love of Scorpio. Once you see what's behind the veil, you cannot unsee it. You cannot. And if some of you out there that are just listening and not talking don't understand it, you got a problem. Exactly, Dolly mixtures. It's the guilty. They're the ones that will try to silence us. And that's why I created my second channel, Truthful and Unfiltered, because I will speak out with my open mind. Um, Dolly, did you say where that person, that female, was from? Where that person went missing from? As I was probably on a rant there for a hot minute. Uh, Renee, they're sheep. I don't know what else to say. People don't think outside the box. People that are closed minded don't think for themselves. Other people do their thinking for them. I don't know why they're afraid. They're afraid of the truth. They're afraid people like us that are open minded might be right. Or is it that they're afraid to be wrong? You know, some people do fear that. They don't like being wrong. But that is the case of Dylan Rounds. That is the case of Aiden Clune, missing a month apart, under similar circumstances. I will keep you updated as we get more information. I'm going to see if I have what it takes to set up StreamYards or something on my second account. So I'm working on, because I like to know the ins and outs of these things before I start using them, like StreamYards and Restream and all that, so that I don't get unwanted situations to arise on that channel. I've got to figure out how to make people mods on that channel. So that channel's going to come to life, believe me. It's got a purpose. It's got a purpose. And that purpose is going to be for those that are open minded. My second channel, let me see if I can find it. It's called Truthful and Unfiltered. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. All right. There's the link to my second channel for those that haven't subscribed. I have 2 videos on there. One's a little short video. It's a train. It's a steam engine. And then I have my introduction on there. I wasn't sure which way I was going to go with that channel. It's going to be a little bit of everything. Oh, okay. Awesome. But it's going to be a little bit of everything. Oh, somebody mentioned that missing female from 2009. I get it figured out. My backup channel, my second channel, is going to be unfiltered, open-minded. If you're not open-minded, that's not the channel to be on. Because we are going to talk about things that some people would like to label as a conspiracy theory. Yeah, that one, Love Scorpio. Do you know where that one went missing from? Hey, Robin, welcome. On the backup channel, it's going to be a little bit of everything. It's going to be all I can say is on my second channel, you have to be open-minded because we're going to talk about things that some people like to label. Oh, let me write that down. That some people like to label as a conspiracy theory. What is it with Utah? We might need to research that whole state. It's not a problem, Alicia. That's okay. Yeah, it does seem to be a major hub. You're right, Love of Scorpio. You're absolutely right. But I'll be doing other things on that channel as well. You know, maybe a little tour around town. The steam engine comes back through this year again, like it should. Hopefully, I can catch it and record it again. If I can find its schedule, and I can get a longer video out of it if I go out and stand outside further. Oh, is it Lava Scorpio? I didn't know that about Ohio. I wasn't aware of that. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Alicia. I hope your mother gets to feeling better. Yeah, there's some days, Robin, you'll hear a lot of them. And like today, so far, I don't know that any's come through. But one day I'll go ahead and I'll do a video so you have an idea of the railroad tracks and the number of trains that come through. But that'll be on the other channel. That won't be on this one. Oh, we can talk about that, Dolly. On the other channel, we can talk about any of that. Like I said, it's going to be truthful and unfiltered. I know other things that people consider to be a conspiracy theory that I won't mention. They're just too closed minded. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Eyes wide shut. Yeah, gas is expensive here too. It's expensive everywhere. That's true, Renee. That's very true. I agree, love the Scorpio. I agree. But they're not going to. They're not going to. So that's where we're at. We'll do some more digging on Dylan and Aiden. Dylan Rounds and Aiden Clune. We're going to do some more digging on those two. And when we get more information, I will do an update. But I wanted to bring everybody's attention because what we're finding is although Chance Engelbert and Chris Lupin both vanished without a trace and didn't leave, there's nothing, no clothing or any of that left behind. The fact still remains they were relatively close to Interstate 80. So let me, I think I'm going to take time out this afternoon and look into the ins and outs of what I need to look into so that I can start slowly on my other channel and we can speak more freely on that channel. Because, like I said, it was the government that coined the phrase conspiracy theory. Our own government, the CIA, in fact. And they did it at the time when John Fitzgerald Kennedy was unalived in the back of that vehicle in Dallas, Texas. That's when they started that term, conspiracy theory. So let's all pray for Dylan Rounds and Aiden Clune. And let's pray for their families. Just as we pray for Chris Lupin and his family, Chance Engelbert and his family, and all the other missing people and their families. Let's just pray for them all. As I always say, I'll see you back next time. I send much love, many blessings to my members, my subscribers, my viewers. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.